Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, today I want to do a little quick overview of all my cooking channels for you real quick. I've had several people contact me and we've been discussing certain things, and I want to share that with you so that you may be having the same questions. Okay, first of all, let's talk about, we're going to go to the field cooking and we want to take something that we already have at home. For example, you go and buy this from the grocery store. Now you're supposed to put 2 cups, boy, that'd be a big mess up. 2 cups of water, of boiling water with this to make instant potatoes. But Blackie, I don't want to make a big old pot of potatoes. I want enough to fit my bush pot with. Well, here's what I suggest you do. This is the simple way to do it. Take this, pour this out onto a cookie sheet or something else that you can divide it easily upon, and then make a nice round pile and then cut it in half. Okay? Then cut those in half again. So that's by a quarter of this, right? Try that much. So if it's 2 cups for the whole amount, half would be 1 cup, half again would be half a cup. So you could put half a cup of water into your bush pot, bring it to a boil, and then dump that in. Once you've got it divided out in those 4 sections, then take I like to use freezer bags, they're tougher. Take a good Dane brand or whatever freezer bag, put the powder into it, the leftover, or all 4 of them I should say, 4 separate bags. And then label it on here with a Sharpie that it is instant mashed potatoes. Add 1/2 cup boiling water to. 1/2 cup boiling water. Okay. Squeeze all air out of it, seal it up, and roll it up real tight. And that's how you take it to the field to prepare. So that if I'm just using a bush pot, I can use off-the-shelf brand sets to do this. Now this will work with the instant soups, the instant chilies, the darn good chili that I've talked about many times on my channel that I really like, and several other things like that. It also works whenever I'm trying to take a given recipe and scale up. The same idea works. Now let us talk for a second about how to read a recipe. Not everybody was taught in the kitchen by their grandmother like I was on how to read recipes. And just because it says it on the page, you got to add a little bit of intuition into it quite often. So you have a cookbook of some kind and you find a recipe in here that you like. Always try these at home first. Don't ever try something for the first time out there in camp, because you really may not like it out there, and it's best to try it at home and figure that out. Okay? The list of ingredients. Okay? So let's take, for example, a list of ingredients. Dutch oven chicken pot pie. This is my personal little book. Use a pre-made pie. This is to go into a Dutch oven. 1 pre-made pie crust, 1 can cream of chicken soup, 1 can mixed vegetable, 1 large can canned chicken meat, salt and pepper, can use and I detail all of it. How long to bake it. Okay. When you're reading a recipe, there's going to be a list of ingredients. You gather all those ingredients. Now, let's say you're baking something like bread. Okay. Always check the date on all the components that you're buying to produce this. Because, say your flour is 6 months old, or maybe even a year old, depending on the store you're shopping at, maybe it's sitting there. It hasn't gone bad, it's not bad. But what's the difference? The difference is whenever you combine things, they mixed ingredients to create, so it's not just a pure sack of flour, it's self-rising flour. And that means that they've added baking soda or baking powder to it to get it to rise when you're baking it. The longer it's been made, the less rise you're going to get because the chemical reaction will not be as strong. Thus, a fresh bag will produce, let's say, just making up, like a 3-inch tall biscuit, and a year-old bag may produce a 1.5-inch tall biscuit. And that's not exact, but you get the idea I'm saying. That it's older, so therefore it may not have the same reaction. It'll still work, but it won't be as big and fluffy. So if you're wondering why, man, I made these at home and these are great big old thick, it may have been newer. So check the date on all of your components. Fresher is better, okay? Now, it lists all the ingredients. You get all the ingredients. A very coarse rule of thumb is you can combine all the dry ingredients together and all the wet ingredients together before you put them together, okay? So if you're trying to carry something to the field, let's say that's a mix that's just going to add water. You could combine it at home, again, measure it out for whatever portion you need for the cooking size you need. Am I cooking just for myself? Am I cooking for me and my spouse or my son or my wife, my friend, whatever? Or am I cooking for a group? Those are going to be different dimensions, see? And so you need to take that into consideration when we're doing it. So we may need to scale up. If it says that this recipe is for 4 servings and I'm trying to serve 8 people, I need to double everything, okay? If I'm trying to scale it down to put it into a bush pot, I half things till I get to the proper size to work in that bush pot or a canteen cup, see? You combine all the dry ingredients together. Then you add the wet to the dry. If you try to add the dry back to the wet, it normally makes a clumpy mess. It just works better. You've seen it when they're doing biscuits and all, and they've got a big old bowl of flour, biscuit mix, and they pour the milk into the middle of it and start stirring it in. That's the correct way to do it. So add the wet to the dry. Okay? Read the entire recipe all the way through and understand what it's saying, because there will be some recipes that will require a wait time, as in making many breads. It will say combine and make the dough, put the dough in a bowl, cover it with a dishcloth, and wait till it doubles in size. That's allowing the baking soda or baking powder within to react with the wet that you combine now, form gas bubbles, and allow it to rise up to make a lighter, fluffier bread. Okay? Certain cake mixes will require that, certain other things. So read it and fully understand preparation time you may have to stop and pause to allow it to proof is what we call it, to proof and rise or double in size, etc. Also realize that certain ingredients may not be added in with the rest. So it may say at the end you sprinkle the sugar over the top, or at the end you now coat the top with butter or something like that. So document that out, and the best thing I can tell you to do is get you a notebook. And in that notebook, I want you to write out the recipe as you understand it in your own words, like this is how to make mayonnaise rolls. And there's the exact ingredients, and down here at the bottom I put in a 425 degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Let them sit for 3 minutes, then flip them out. Little tips and tricks that you see in the recipe or that you learn, add to it. Okay? Now you have written out the recipe, you've got all your stuff sitting there ready to go, and you're practicing it at home. You've got the oven set to the proper temperature. It's had time to come up and it's hot and ready to go. Some ovens are slower than others to come up to temp, so go ahead and set it while you're gathering your ingredients. We want it to be at that temperature, not stick it in and turn the knob on. It's not a microwave oven. It may take it 15-20 minutes to come up to temp, see? And so your stuff wouldn't be cooked properly. So if it says 425, it means put it into a 425 oven, okay? Combine your ingredients, put it in, cook it. Taste it, try it out. Do you like it? Do you think it needs something? It needs a little more salt. That's a little too much salt, a little too much sugar. Modify the recipe on your list to fit your tastes. When you have done it a couple of times, don't just do it once. You may have got lucky. Do it a couple of different times when you figure out, yeah, I like this, and I want to try this in camp. Now you see we understand the recipe. Now when we shift over to doing it in a Dutch oven, the recipe we got, it's keeping the temperature we need in the Dutch that's the difference. See? And now we can know how to put it together. We're not struggling with is the temperature right? Did I do the recipe right? We're eliminating variables. Okay? Now, as I said, get you a notebook. And I have, this notebook is called Canteen Cup Cooking. And the vast majority of the recipes in here are for a canteen cup, although there is a Dutch oven thing or two thrown in. This one that I'm started back here will have other recipes that I found in various places that I think would be really good to utilize. Mayonnaise biscuits, potato chip pancakes, all kinds of stuff. Once you've figured out your recipe at home, you determine you do like it, you figured out how you can package it to bring it to the field, i.e. putting all the dry ingredients into Ziploc bags and then label on the bag that this is the biscuit mix. Don't have 4 or 5 different bags of white powder in your gear. And is that the Hush Puppy mix or is that the pancake batter mix? Aha, see, always label it. And then down here underneath, write down what you got to add to it. Add milk, add water, add whatever. See, any instructions, write it down on the bag. And that way when I pull it out, I know what I got to do and remind myself for doing it. That will make your time in the field a whole lot easier. So, to recap, I can take a pre-made mix of some kind and I can cut it down to use in a canteen cup, a small bush pot, something like that. I can also double it upward to feed more people in a bigger cooking pot if I'm cooking it. See? I will work out my recipes that I find that I like and I'm going to try at home. I will then gather my dry ingredients, work it step by step at home and make sure I can produce it, modifying my recipe to fit my tastes. Then I'll figure out how to package that to take it to the field, as in putting all the dry ingredients into Ziploc bags and label what I got to add to it, like water, whatever. Now, I'm not going to be doing a cooler blackie, and I want to cook this for me and my friends this, but it says add milk, powdered milk. Add water, powdered milk, and it works just fine. They even make powdered buttermilk. They make all kinds of stuff. You're going to have to search around, but they even make powdered butter if that's what you're looking for. And so, again, practice at home and make sure how you can do it and be happy with the results. So you can scale it up for big cooking pots, big Dutch ovens, whatever, or scale it all the way down to using a canteen cup or a small bush pot. It's just how you play the ratios. Now, when I talked about measuring, why would I want to measure it ahead of time? Why not just take the stuff? Well, if I go out to the field, it looks kind of cool, doesn't it? You get up there at camp and you dig out the sack of flour and you dig out the can of baking powder and here's the salt and here's the sugar and here's the... That's a whole lot to carry. It is far easier at home with your handy little, measuring spoons and measuring cups to measure out a half teaspoon, etc., and put it into the bag That cuts down your prep time. Because when I get there, it's a mix now. There's my biscuit mix. There's my bannock mix. And all I got to do is add the water to it. I can do that in the bag, can't I? That's one of my favorite ways to do drop biscuit, is I will have the dry in here and I'll add my milk or I'll add my water to it, seal it up, and then I'll sit there and knead it in the bag instead of having mixed in the bowl. I keep my hands clean. And when it's kneaded to the right consistency, I'll push it down here and I'll cut off that corner. And then I'll use it like a pipette bag and squeeze it out. Squeeze it into a biscuit-sized blob. Then come over here and I'll do 4 biscuits out of it. See? And this is the only thing I got to throw away. Put in the garbage. Works nice, easy, and clean and quick. As Nesmonk said, we go to smooth it, not to rough it. I hope this helps you guys. Please, down there in the comments, leave me some questions about things you're trying to do, or how can I do this in the field, etc. And I'll do my best to share it with you. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.